The only way you can get more money is if somebody else gives it to you. If you want to have more of me, you got to know why people would give you more of me. Me, money. I get a list every day, and there's names that, you know why I need to have this list? I need to know where I'm going this week. You heard about the income gap between the rich and the poor? Oh, the rich are getting richer and the poor are getting poorer. They are not related. The income gap, the big income gap, isn't between the rich and the poor. It isn't what the rich make versus what the poor make. The big income gap is between what ordinary men and women are making and what they could be making. What do we call a person who has your money? We call them a customer. How about if money gives you permission to profit? How about if you learn to give yourselves permission to profit? How about if you give your other business builders you're working with permission to profit? How about if you give your customers permission to be your customers so that you can profit? You got to find people in pain. You got to find companies in pain. You got to find people where the pain is so good that they'll even do what you're doing. And see, then they'll command their money to go. They don't command their money to go to you for any other reason than the pain has gotten too great. And you have a solution that you've added value to. No one is teaching you this. Some people have figured it out and they're making a ton of money. You got to find some business that is so happy to have you. And then you got to find some customers who can't stop the pain without you. The minimum wage, and federal minimum wage right now is $7.25 in this country. $7.25 an hour. Terrible. People say, oh, how, it's so wrong. Listen to what they say. It's so wrong that someone works 40 hours a week and they can't support their family. I feel bad about that. But paying them more per hour isn't going to help them or us. All right? It's not going to change the way, if you're getting paid $7.25 an hour, you know why? It's because that's what you're worth. That's what you're worth, not about what you as a person is worth. It's what your work is worth. It's worth $7.25 an hour. How do we know that your work is worth $7.25 an hour? Because that's what you're getting paid for. And everyone gets paid what their work is worth. Who are you competing against at that level? Everybody else. Bosses get a bad rap because bosses are stuck. You're not the only one that works for them. They've got all these other people working for them. And even though, yes, you're special and you're a jewel, we should admire you all the time. If they paid you more money, it would make everyone else unhappy, including your boss, because now you're getting closer to your boss's salary. Most human beings spend their entire lives putting their financial futures into the hands of somebody else. Okay? You go and you get a job and you put your financial future in the hands of your boss. You make some money and you want to do some investments. And listen, money's not against investing money. Okay, I think that's fine. But look most people don't have any idea what their brokers are doing with their money. They give it to them and hope. So if I have $100 in my pocket and I have $120 pain and you can solve it for me, guess what? I'm happy to give you the $100. Why? It's a bargain. Do you have your hands on the pulse of your money-making abilities if you're doing that? You do, and guess what? Your tax laws in this country are set up solely to favor you. Everything is in your favor. The only thing that's not in your favor is that you haven't been taught how to do this. You haven't grown up in an atmosphere, in an environment where people are told, hey, go out there and find somebody with a problem and make them feel worse. And then make them feel better with a unique solution that you mold, that you own, that you belong to, that you live with day by day. You see, folks, that's the struggle. And not only is it a struggle, it's a great joy. It's a great journey. It's a wonderful way to spend a life. And it's so much better than to sit there thinking, I wonder how I can get this person to pay me more. That's not much of a life.